Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's up, world? It's badass thuggin' like I usually do, and you better turn it up, bust some speakers out, cause we off the motherfucking cuff. You dig how we do it? Dog Pound Gangsters 2000 and beyond. Black.
Yo, check this out. This is your girl, Cola Vogue, and I'm chilling with my boys right here on Off the Cuff Radio. Cause we off the cuff right now. You dig?
Bet. What's up? It's your boy Lil Yap from UNLV, bragging them from the river, cooling with my homies and my family at Off the Cuff Radio. Y'all be sure to tune in on Fridays and get the latest scoop and find out what's happening. You heard me?
Tiffany Lavon.
And it's Queen Queasy, your girl's favorite bartender.
And we're from
Sex on the Rocks podcast.
Alright, you're now tuning in to Off the Cuff Radio.
Yeah, because they keep representing that world hip-hop. Yo, much love.
Alright. Y'all, this is Princess Daisy giving a shout out to King Eric and Off the Cuff Radio. Keep doing your thing, puppy.
Hey y'all, this is Stacey Lachey giving a shout out to King Eric and Off the Cuff Radio.
What's shaking, y'all? This is the Grand, one half of Lost Cause and 1/3 of that drive time thing. Sending my love to the homies over at Off the Cuff Radio. Tune in every Friday night for some real deal hip-hop conversation. These dudes are the connoisseurs of this thing. You already know what it is. BX Stand Up, HUD City, we're shaking. Peace.
Yo, this is Dope Fresh to Dine, and y'all tuned in to the most raw, uncut show on radio, the Guilloteam team, Off the Cuff, and yo, Eric, Sandman, off of these clowns' heads.
Yeah. Madman, Screwball. Yeah. You know it's New York when you see needles in staircases, piss in the elevator, getting slashed on subway stations, drug exchanges during shift change, Timbs and Carhartt and Polo Cloths. You can smell the loud for blocks and blocks. Police walking the beat, shooters on the roof protecting the money, plastic cups and a gallon of the Henny. Say the wrong thing, you could be a casualty. The luck of the dice, walk through the wrong block, best to tuck your ice. Night vulture, night predator, night vision, prey on animals who get caught slipping, hold guns the size of Porzingis arms. Kamikaze, New York, home of the grimy ones. War paint streets are color coded. Picture Screwballs in the ninth inning, call me the closer. Mariano Rivera.
Roll me to the wolves, I'ma come back leading the pack. That's that double L Screwball, was fucking with that. Ain't common, I got whatever you need. I'm a champion, like Apollo Creed. You want that real hip hop? I could give you that. No matter what you do, you can't stop that. You know the guard rolls dolo, state to state. If you ain't working, I can't carry dead weight. I'm a floater. Holla at the nearest promoter. Yo, black poet, let these niggas know I took over. I do it for KL. Whole hand done. I been a shot caller. My brother was a baller. Time flying. My son getting taller. Top Fetty, he ready. Aim steady. Infamous mob, nigga. We so deadly. You heard what I said? We so deadly. Grab my infamous bloodline. Infamous, y'all. Fridge representative. Sounds unlimited. Cowardly heart, step aside. Stand clear. Y'all already know what this shit is, man. The New York takeover. Hey, Comet, this beat is stupid, homie. Madman, love and loyalty, infamous mob shit. New Screwball album coming, you heard me? It's the big homie Child Nitty. From my hood to your hood, you smell me?
check. 5,000. Comet. Yeah. Screwball. Yeah. Supreme the Almighty. Yeah, man. See providence out calamity, my sanity, ballistics filled at capacity, build drastically, Screwball the faculty, my solidarity. Don't be the one to catch slugs in your anatomy. Your whole life a fallacy, friend or enemy. Tread carefully, survival my reality. Respect all, fear none, trust no one. Leave shorty glazed like a cinnabon, the most sinister. God a sinner, hard colder than the freezer, ice 40 degrees below zero. Fiends, freaks, and weirdos, stained windows, tainted vision. They lit off codeine and prescription. I'm trying to sit in position. Egyptian cloths and silk rags. Everything about that bag. Lord Travis Shabazz. Loud pipes and loud packs. Attorney for crimes and contracts.
We don't fear none. Walk through your city, torch your hood with a flare gun.
We just out of control.
Y'all cats soft. We ain't made like that.
We don't fear none.
Go ahead, nigga, act silly.
Your motherfuckers think it's a game.
Yo.
No way of knowing where these madmen will strike next.
Yeah, yo, look at the earth disturbers, call them aura snatchers. I was born to be royal, y'all niggas more savage. Law enforcement tactics, got sworn camera. Like the Africans when they trapped us and held us captive. Use a lane, my peep game and I got it mastered. I'm a rare breed, designed from a different fabric. Rap addict, I wrote for the cause when it mattered. My rhyme pattern hits the earth's surface, crack the planet. I'm from the jungle, beyond hungry, we all famished. Talking to scammers, chasing the bag grabbers. The system against us, the cause is relentless. Just throwing time at you like he got a vengeance. Line you up and slay you, the betrayal was endless. For those who died on my block, got hit by the benches. Blood money ventures, crime life is intensive. Cinematic hood shit through panoramic lenses.
We don't fear none. Walk through your city, torch your hood with a flare gun.
Out of control. Y'all cats soft, we ain't made like that.
We don't fear none.
Go ahead, nigga, act silly.
Your motherfuckers think it's a game.
I'm from the place where hardcore is beautiful.
Shit is real in the hood. Your hood, my hood. All around. Shit is a state of emergency, you know. We in a state of emergency, you know. Creep the streets with my third eye open, hoping to avoid getting hit. They got me in the scoping, walking through the hood, it's a maze, I'm amazed. Bars everywhere, resembling a cage. 12 on the prowl, harassing the natives, thinking everybody foul, but they only my neighbors. Real niggas stand up, proud with your chest out. Grind, get money, fuck the world, that's the best route. Keep your head up, Machiavelli told me that. Hand on my gat, nothing gonna hold me back. The beast on the streets wanna eat you. Turn on the news, they killing up all our people. Shit is transparent, you can see through. It could be you, it could be me. The streets are real lethal. Long as you got the knowledge. Street college, PhD. All ratchets are polished.
Triumph on they truth for square. One mind, one army, one vision. The weak get forced into submission. We got you stuck with the realness. The anti-venom to the poison. All my truth for square, beware. We dealing with modern warfare, have you in primal fear. Blind from the real loss. We moving on to different frequencies, Lord. Protect me from my enemies. Let love guide me. Watch for the evils lurking around me. Couple shooters on speed dial. Watch for the bounty. Survival the mentality. Every corner tells a story. Pain and the glory. Fame and the money. Fresh in my rugby. Been tugging since a shorty. Brown bag guzzling the 40. Pistol under the hoodie. Chipping off a cookie, vision got blurry, hands got dirty. Third store the hunger, Bronx Brahma, an awful dodger. Moving through Cybertron, omnivore, outdoorsman, sportsman. Dry goods and cashmere, been at it all year. Fine cuisine and fly garments. Triumph on they truth for square. One mind, one army, one vision. The weak get forced into mission. We got you stuck with the realness. The anti-venom to the poison.
Welcome to the last days, inside the final hours. Future where vultures prey, swoop down and devour. Watch them snatch the souls of cowards. Only the strong survive, predators smell fear. sound boy, burial, sprinkle their ashes on asphalt. Take over your area, airways by aerial assault. We at war here, bombs bursting in air. Guard yours, giving ice picks for ice grills. All or nothing, 24 hours, grinding the bill. Bird kings with grounds, crafting golden era sound. School of hard knocks, treacherous 70s, grimy 90s. Cassette tapes to wax, polo sport, Air Max. Matching camo fit, so I wore the cap. When Comet throws a screwball, DJs say scratch that. Accurate fact, nothing but truth, resided in the booth. And when you see them generals, 21 guns salute. Blah!
What it do, y'all? This your boy King Eric the Great, a.k.a. Rick Capo. You're now tuned in at the livest hip-hop show on Friday nights, Off the Cuff Radio, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing and Buddy Boy Entertainment. If you haven't checked out Cocaine's Finger Roll album, go to www.buddyboyentertainment.com, because that's the dopest thing out right now. I got my man T-Max with the facts in the building with me.
What it do? What it do on this Friday night? OTC up in the building. So you know we're about to get live, taking it back to the NY. King, tell them about our guest tonight.
What can I say about tonight's guest? Tonight's guest, he has one of the best hip-hop albums now, out right now. That's the reason why I reached out to him. This guy here is down with one of the best hip-hop cliques of the 90s, the Screwball clique, and he's also affiliated with Men Ent Entertainment, and these guys are doing their thing on the underground right now. They have a solid roster of spitters. So we're going to bring on my man, who we play these three songs from, representing the Screwball clique and Men Ent Entertainment. My man Comet is in the building right now, y'all.
Yeah. What's good, my people?
What's going on, man? Comet
out there, man.
Look,
What's the word, man?
Chillin', man. You be blazing through the space like Haley's, but you not so much of that rarity in terms of we see your flyness on the daily with the dope, man. I mean, what's going on with you?
Ain't nothing, man. Just happy to be here, Off the Cuff Radio, man. Shout out, King Eric out there, man, for having me on here, man. I appreciate you, word.
Most definitely, my man. And to start this thing, before we go and let this thing start, we want to let it be known that the call number is 1-619-924-0703. If you want to call up, leave shout-outs, submit questions to my man Comet in the building. You want to submit questions to us, you want to donate, let it be known.
Definitely. Comet, yay, man. We're so honored on OTC to have you up in the building, man, chopping it up with us for this session. So for our listeners that may not necessarily be familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience about, where you rep, you know what I'm saying, and, how you got into hip-hop and, ultimately how you did hook up with Screwball. From Bronx to QB, you know what I'm saying, that's a hell of a connection, man. So tell us all about your history.
Yeah, man. I go by the name of Comet, straight out the BX, Kingsbridge, Road Section, Jerome Avenue. Been into hip-hop all my life, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in the BX, and, every Friday night, it was cool. DJ Red Alert getting played on the corners, So at a young age, I was influenced by hip-hop. You had the New York City Breakers. They used to break dance in the park and all that. So, from there, I just love hip-hop, the whole culture, everything about it, you know what I mean? Every aspect of it, from the B-boy to the MC to the DJ, The DJ first and foremost,
Definitely.
I've been doing this music. I've been doing the music heavy, since I want to say about 2006. I started taking it serious, and speed you up, I linked up with Black Diggity like 2009. That's Black Poet, you know, legendary Screwball General, you know, straight out of Queensbridge. I was working on my project, and, you know, he just saw my grind, so we started grinding, you know. You know, we fast forward, so we out here on Strong Island. You know, I moved from the Bronx to Strong Island. So we clicked up out here, and, you know, I did a couple projects where he was featured on. You know, he did a couple projects that I was featured on, you know, like The Most Dangerous with Kyo Itachi and Venom. You know, I was on that album.
Oh, man, Venom the Vigilante,
Yeah. Who had? You know, that's family, that's home team right there. And, you know, I just kept grinding, man.
Definitely. Now, you coming out of the Bronx, you know, you definitely come from a lineage of hip-hop royalty, you know, most notably but not limited just to, of course, you know, Blastmaster KRS-One, you know, French Montana, you know, Remy Ma, and, of course, Fat Joe. So in terms of when you really, because you said you dropped your first project in 2006, what was the epiphany for you that really, you know, you decided to go ahead and make this, you know, a profession for yourself?
He gonna call back in a minute. I think his call got dropped.
Okay, his call got dropped. All right, he's gonna hit. Yeah, man. But yeah, King, look, you know, I was reading, you know, a little bit of his bio, man. I mean, this dude, he definitely put in. You know, when he said Venom the Vigilante, you know, I got excited because for our listeners out there, if you have never heard Venom the Vigilante, he is one of the illest producers out there. You know, no cap. Son is sick with it on the production. You know,
yeah, he's back now.
You.
We hear you. Yeah.
All right. We had some technical difficulties, you know.
It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, like I was saying before, you know, Black Piggy slapped that Screwball print on me, and I've been running with the flag ever since. You know what I mean? You know, me and him dropped that project, Mad Screws, together. You know, dropped that in like 2016. So here we are, 2019, and I'm giving you my new album, Cataclysm. You know, featuring Screwball the Army. You know what I'm saying? The God, Sadat X, the Grand Nubian. You know, peace to the foul Mati, my brother, Tragedy Gaddafi. You know.
Oh man, the Iron Sheik himself. Yes.
Yeah. You know, and I got my infamous brothers on there too. You know, Ty Nitty of infamous Mobb Deep, Godfather Part 3. You know. What? Shout out to Army. You know.
Definitely.
You know, and I got a few other people on there too. You know, like my brother AG the Coroner, Coronelli Capone. You know. My brother John Jiggs from Strong Island. You know, get familiar with him. He's fresh. John Jiggs. Got my Screwball brother, Escape Skrilla on there. You know. We've just been working, man. We've been working. Shout out FT. And everybody else contributed to the album, man. Word.
You know,
what made you
I'm hearing
decide on that? Yeah, I was going to ask him, what made you decide on naming that title for the album?
Oh, Cataclysm. You know, I go by Comet. You know, it's a lot of hogwash out there, you know. And, you know, if a comet hits, you know, it's here to wipe out whatever's there. And, you know, you got to rebuild from that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel I hit hard this year with the album. And, you know, a lot of all the other hip-hop is coming hard, too, you know. So we kind of straying away from that other shit. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to it, but you know that's not the culture. You know, it's not the culture.
Definitely. Now, Comet, when you coming in the game, I mean, honestly, for you to be able to get that link, with the Screwball click, because one of the, hip hop right now, and for some to say it's been a long time, is that a lot of the older generation at times has not reached out to the younger generation. But like you said, when you had them reach out, when Black Poet reached out to you, off of seeing how your grind was, that was a hell of a cosign that really enables you to link up with a lot of the major people. And for some artists, it takes them years to really make those connections. You seemingly made it in a relatively short amount of time. Pretty much from where you really got. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I was blessed. I was blessed to be able to link up with Black Poet through my man Sam Thorough of Thorough Tracks. He's the one that made the connection. But once we made the connection, we just start building, and he starts seeing what I'm doing. Shout out to Sam Thorough.
Definitely.
But yeah, man. Like I said, man. It was an honor to grab a flag because I'm a hip hop fan. Like from day one, hip hop fan. Like listening to Run DMC, UB Ellen type love for hip hop. Where some kids don't even know about it. But I'm from that time. And I've been following Black Poet since about, I want to say 95, 96, but I always knew of him from like the Poet and Hot Day album, way before the Screwball albums came,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Poet's been around, Poet's been around since about 86, 87, So for me to be around something legendary like that, it's a great thing.
Definitely. So what was it like going in the studio for the first time? What was that first writing session like when all y'all got together and y'all like, okay, we're going to do this?
Oh, man, a lot of smoke, the water going around,
Right.
And what's ill is when you click with somebody, it's just ill. So we both from outside, so it was like two brothers clicking like right away, And through Poet, I was able to reach out to Tragedy. A few other people linked me with Tragedy too. Shout out Todd Nitty. Todd Nitty is Screwball little brother. So if you know the history of the Screwball, shout out Screwball Louis, R.I.P.
Yeah.
And,
that passed away in 2008. Yes. Rest in peace.
Yeah, so that's Todd Nitty, older brother. You know what I'm saying? So, and shout out KL. KL. That was Black Poet's younger cousin. That's why if you listen to the album, I got a joint on there called KL. Because Black Poet originally made that beat for KL. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I went ahead and just kept the torch lit and named it KL. Just out of the homage.
Definitely.
And
now, if y'all coming into
the
the game,
clip. I didn't mean to cut you off, too, man. I was making sure everything was working here on my side.
Go ahead.
But
go ahead.
But I remember you sharing on your Facebook the Black Poet Society joint. This joint was wicked. Came out 8 years ago today.
Yes. Shout out to Bangers and Black Poet. That's a classic movie villain, real grimy, gritty album.
Yeah, 'cause the way I remember when I first heard it, man, it sounded like a movie on wax. That's how dope it was.
Yeah, that's how dope it is still. You know, for those that ain't hear it, man, go out and get that Black Poet Society.
Definitely. And one thing too, and I gotta shout, and definitely I can't, we definitely gotta shout out because definitely with what Black Poet did on his album. There's also a girl in England by the name of Elay that has worked with Venom and Black Poet as well, who's incredibly dope.
Oh man, yo, she is dope. Honestly, the joint they have on The Most Dangerous together.
Yes.
That's
the Venom produced.
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of my favorites. Because that album is a little is dope because they put a lot of people that Poet never worked with him. Like the Bangkok fam. I love Bangkok. You know what I'm saying? And to have their raw style combined with Poet's raw style just make it more raw.
Definitely.
Shout out Elay for that track too.
Oh yeah. Now in terms of one thing I've noticed, especially with the QB style, and of course the Bronx, most notably though with QB is that QB has always kept that rugged aesthetic that has made them so known. Of course, taking it back to the old days of the Juice Crew. Of course, you have Marley Marl. You had Tragedy, going back some years. Of course, Nas, Mobb Deep, Lakey the Kid, Cormega. There was always that roughness. Did y'all ever, pretty much, and we'll get to this later in the conversation about the state of hip-hop and where you feel it started changing, where, it wasn't as traditional and even authentic. But I wanted to get your input in terms of, was there pretty much always, that determination within the clique that no matter what the trends were at the particular time, that you all were going to dedicate yourselves to delivering the very best and representing the culture in its most creative and consummate excellence of expression and emceeing?
Yeah, well, it's always about the culture, It's always about the boom bap. You know what I mean?
Right.
And about Queensbridge. Queensbridge is its own universe.
Right.
It's its own living organism, I want to say. You know what I mean? Like outside of Queensbridge is its own monster. So shout out all the artists that come out of Queensbridge. I'm not from Queensbridge. I'm from the BX. But, salute all of them out there because I rep with Screwball, and that's legendary Queensbridge. And just for them to give me light. And I've been in the bridge. Like I said, it's a whole different universe in there, As far as the state and they style, they keep it real, like where everybody changing and everybody doing what they doing or following trends, why follow trends when it's real? It'll never burn out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you dropping the truth, it'll never burn out. That torch will be forever lit, no matter what kind of hip hop come through. Like you even got like some cowboy hip hop coming through right now, but at the end of the day, the torch is still going to be lit because the underground going to keep the torch lit.
Right.
Your Thurston Howes, your Sadat X's, your Black Poets, your infamous Mobs, your Beat Nuts, like your Tragedy Gaddafi's, your Royal Flushes, like the torch will forever be lit. You know,
yes.
shout out
look,
to the whole
look,
Griselda team and what they doing.
Definitely. Look,
as
look,
long as
look.
these guys
Tommy,
are still putting out the music, it ain't gonna never die. As long as the veterans keep releasing stellar releases, it's never gonna die off.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Look, Tommy.
Just as long.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now, I was just saying, you were shouting out Thurston Howell, the Puerto Rican of the low life. You know, shout out to Rack Low,
Yeah.
Fox
Salute the
Low.
General.
Yes,
To
the
L's
whole
up.
clique.
Yes.
And of course, you know, Royal
Nate.
Flush, you know, Ike
Nate
Down
Lowe.
Medallions. Man, yeah.
Yeah, you know, just like you know, you got Smith and Wesson. They got their new album out. The All, you know, like
Boy,
they still got the torch. The torch still lit, you know, and
yeah.
And like I said, like you got Benny the Butcher out there. You got the whole Griselda. You know, you got Daniel's son. There's a lot of new hip hop out there that I'm feeling that's going back to the ill ways. You know, shout out Rock Marcy. You know, shout out Action Bronson. You know, it's out there, man. You just got to know where it is. You know, like you ain't got to be poisoned by what they playing on the radio. You just got to go looking. You know.
Now, in your opinion,
I like
Ito. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
I
you
would
got
say
Ito,
that I think a lot
you
of
got Crime Apple. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say too that I think if you were like a crate digger, you would know that if you were a true hip hop pursuer, that the music ain't gonna never die anyway. As long as you got artists like yourself and veterans steady putting out music, there's like new music coming out on a weekly now.
Definitely. And I think, you know, what's the most beautiful aspect about it is all the artists you name, you know, are definitely from the old school, you know, but they're not old in terms of tired, you know, and should be retired. I mean, these are the Smith & Wesson album, The All, was one of the most unbelievable pieces of hip-hop. You know, it was released in 2018, you know, but to see them still rapping at that level, you know, it's, and to see the features. I mean, of course, Rhapsody was up there. I mean, you know, I believe even Rick Ross was up there, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, it's like they had you to have that level of, you know, emceeing. It's a testament to dedicating yourself to the culture in the aspect of committing yourself to rhyming at a high excellence. You know, and I think a lot of times, and we talk about this on the show all the time, Comet, about how, you know, we feel like sometimes some of today's generation look at some of the older rappers and, you know, look at them like they should be in a geriatric unit, where our thing is, you know, because we're both older, so we understand it. We're older, but we're not old. And our sentiment is this. These are the people that laid the foundation for where a lot of these acts are today. You know.
Oh, true indeed. True indeed.
And you can't. And when I hear a lot of the youngins, you know, talk about how, man, you know, they time is over. You know, let the young boys. It's not about the older generation trying to shun the young. It's about some of the younger generation, not all, because, you know, of course, shout out to Dave East, you know, Japan and Trey Pizzi out of the Bronx as well. You know, I mean, it's like you still have artists that are still doing their thing, you know, coming in new. But it's like we do have a lot of artists coming out today who really, it's like, you just don't feel it in terms of what the culture is supposed to represent in their music. And I guess that's subjective from my opinion, but it doesn't give me the same excitement, because you just wonder if a lot of these artists, do they get into it because they really love the music, or do they love the lifestyle that the music can provide potentially for them? And it's all about profit rather than appreciation for the craft.
Yeah. That is true, but you know, the way the youngins look at the OGs is like, like, yeah, they old, whatever, but, you know, the OGs is you know, they set a trend. Like, there would be no hip-hop if it was not for the OGs out there doing what they was doing. Like there was no labels when hip-hop started, you know?
Right.
These people
right.
were doing it out of the love, and they was doing it so much that it became something, you know?
Right.
So
right.
It's like you know, like listening to Barry White or listening to Miles Davis, but you know, you got your Chuck D's and you got your Black Poets and your Chris Parkers, and you know, it's the same relevance, you know, except that, you know, people will, you know, it's always a competition in hip hop, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
As it should, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these artists, you know, they don't know about the origins of hip hop, you know. All they know is that somebody bought a machine and they started slapping pads and they made a beat out of it and started doing that, you know. But you know, hip hop is much more than that. Like you know, this hip hop is jazz, hip hop is soul, hip hop is blues, hip hop is rock and roll. You know, like hip hop is all of that. And
yeah.
your music should portray that in some kind of way, like whether you got a flute in there sound, or you got some kind of sound in there, an orchestrated sound, like it's still there to create hip hop, you know. But these people, they don't look at the culture. They look past the culture because the corporations make them look past the culture, you know.
Right.
All they see is a way out the struggle, you know. Sign this deal. Let me sign this 360 deal. Yeah. Boom. I'm locked in for 10 years. They gonna make half my profit. Yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? But they shining. They got the cars. They got everything, you know. But you know, they still owe at the end of the day, you know. As far as
break down, I was going to ask you, do you care to break down what a 360 deal is for a lot of the listeners that come in that aspire to be rappers?
Well, a 360 deal is like is a form of an advance, you know, but not a cash advance, you know. So if they press up any merch, if you do any shows, anything you sell, as far as units and everything else, they're entitled to a percentage of that, you know. It could be half, you know, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, depending what they sat down for. So
you know,
usually when you sign a deal, a normal deal, you know, you get advance up front. You know, you know, when your album drops, you're supposed to recoup what the advance was. You know, but this way the label doesn't have to put out a lot of money. They can still get you into your interviews, on your festival stages, or everywhere you're supposed to be to make money, but they making money on top of you too. You know. That's a 360 deal.
Definitely, Comet. And you made a great point about that, because if we can break it down a little bit further, you know, from the aspect of industry politics and contractual obligations and, you know, litigation on the papers, back in the day, especially with touring for artists, that money was basically off limits to the label, you know. As you said, and as you just said,
that was dead.
You know, when you had the label. And back in the day, when you had a label, there'd be maybe, you know, $500,000, maybe $1 million advance, which, you know, like you said, once you recoup that from selling a certain amount of albums, you know, the rest of it was yours after, you know, once you sold that $1 million worth of records, anything you made after that, you know, that was pretty much yours in terms of percentage. You know, really going further, a lot of people even then don't even really understand what the going rate is for a lot of what the major artists make. And we have seen a lot of situations where, a lot of artists, from R&B to rock and roll to hip-hop, where, and some of our listeners may not believe this, $1 to $2 on a major was considered, like, if you were doing $1 to $2 per record sale, you were doing it.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, please.
No, that's true. That's true. You was able to make more. You out there selling the label selling your album for, let's just say, $12 on the shelf. You the artist are getting maybe $4 from that.
And that's like if you were huge, like that was like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, like huge
Michael
back
Jackson.
in the day, like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Which is why taking it back to hip hop as well. When you have companies like Koch, now known as E1, Land Speed, a lot of other independent labels, what they started doing was, that's why a lot of artists like Omega, shout out to the realness, Don Mega,
shout out Mega.
When he did his album The Realness in 2001, when he released that on Land Speed, he pretty much, from what I understood, I think he was getting like $6 a record. Because now the trick is this too, for a lot of our audience listening, if you're an independent artist going on an independent label, you're going to get more money. That is true, but you are also responsible for pressing up your merchandise and your advertising. After that, the label is only going to press up the music. It's up to you to get it out there in terms of letting people know that the record is out there. Matter of fact, of course, we saw that with a lot. With their last album, that they did that independently. They released that on an independent label.
Like Cataclysm. Cataclysm.
Yeah.
I released that. Men Entertainment.
What was the decision in terms of how y'all were going to go about with your album release for it?
Well, the demand for the vinyl was high.
Yes.
So when we came with the CDs, they start asking for the vinyl, so we gave them the vinyl too, because there's still DJs out there that actually spin records, not just the CDJs or the push button DJ that's at a station, But I just decided to give the collectors something, to listen to my music on wax, because it was my first full album on wax, Yeah.
And it's and I was looking at your IG page, and my IG's been acting up, so I can't add people, but they can follow me. I'll shoot you my IG information in your inbox on Facebook. Appreciate you adding me. But it's like definitely the album, like you said, vinyl has definitely always been a staple in terms of, the cutting, the mixing, and everything. And there's just something magical about seeing that 12-inch, cylinder to just
not only that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not even that. You still got people, nowadays doing 45 sets. They coming out spinning 45s. They pressing their music on 45s. They pressing their music on 7-inch. Shout out to Lifelong. He got a new album coming. And then there's this new album out right now. It's called Dark Invaders by my people's Master Muzo MMX out of France. They just dropped a new vinyl, Dark Invaders. Word. But, right now there's two albums right now, two vinyls featuring myself that they could go get, Cataclysm and Dark Invaders. Straight on Bandcamp. Go check me out, Comet5000.bandcamp.com.
Definitely.
Cataclysm, working on that album, like, out of all the songs you did, like, what was some of your favorite ones that you did personally?
Oh, man. All of them were experiences, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I got to build with Todd Nitty on the joint, and we got more work coming. You know, there's more work coming. You know, me and Black Poet, me and him got a new album coming right after this. You know, it's going to be a small little bomb real quick, you know? And, of course, Tragedy, you know. Tragedy going to bring the best out of you because his lyrical is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with Trag, you know, you gotta bring your A game, you know. And like I said, shout out to the Asthmatic. You know, he produced the track for Social Media, featuring Sadat X. You know, and I'm from the BX, so to have a joint with Sadat X, you know, back in the day they used to call him DX, you know.
Derek X, yeah.
Yeah. It's just legendary to me, you know, like being able to build with all these legends and give the people a solid album that, you know, that's what they want to hear.
Now,
they want that they want that gritty.
Definitely. And what's the reception been like from the local NY City DJs in terms of upon the release and pretty much all over? From how's the reception been from your side of the East Coast on out to the to the South and Midwest and out West?
Well, you know, I got my little core, little listeners, you know, and they scattered. You know, they scattered Jersey, you know, PA, you know, Long Island, you know, some of Boston, some of Rhode Island, Chicago, you know, LA.
You got listeners. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And as far as running with it, you know, I've been, ever since the album dropped, I've been promoting it, and I dropped the album January 8th of this year, you know, and here we are, June, and it's still popping. Where other people would have fizzed out already, you know what I mean? So the album is a solid album. So, you know, as long as the people keep reaching out and yo, come on my show, yo, I heard your album, yo, that tells me that it's still traveling. So, you know, that's a good thing. Some people drop an album every month. You know what I mean? Don't let the fans catch up to the whole album. You know, even though I got a new album coming, I look at all the time I gave them. Almost, you know, 6 months done went by already, and we still banging Cataclysm. You know.
And I think that says something.
Where these guys have a fear. You guys have kind of a fear of being like irrelevant because this market today is like very fast paced, and they feel that they don't drop something like every 2 weeks. They're like, oh shit, I'm about to be forgotten.
Yeah, nowadays it's like, you know, I heard it today. Tomorrow I want something new. You know. Back in the days, you bought an album, and you might have listened to that one album for like a whole year, just that one album. Pop it in your Walkman, pop it in your car. You know. And nowadays, you know, it's on the phone, so they might not like it, so they hit next because they're streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we at this level where now it's like there's so much out there every hour. Like it's also an oversaturation that's going on within the game, and it makes it hard for a lot of shoot off. Go ahead.
It sounds all the same. All the music that they make sounds all the same. It's fast paced. Back in the day when you made an album, you know, you might have listened to it and, oh, where that sample came from. Now you digging. Now I gave you something to do. You know, where nowadays it's just too much of it. It sounds the same. So, you know, someone like me, I'm going to start digging for something else, you know. While people on the radio is listening to this, I'll be digging for what I want to listen to.
Now, Comet, we've seen so many artists in recent years come out, and they seemingly had a lot of momentum. Here at Off the Cuff Radio, we're all about the facts, but we're never about running nobody under the bus, trying to trash any artist. But we all, between the three of us and our listeners, we all know a lot of these recent one-hit wonders. What do you think happens with a lot of the recent artists that have come out where everybody thought they were going to be that next guy or girl, and it just never happened for them in terms of after one song? What do you think happens that contributes to them being forgotten as fast as they came in the lane?
Sometimes it has to do with the relationship between the people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could just cut you off, you know, and you won't come out never. You know,
ever.
Look, February 31st.
Yeah, like they'll just shelf your project, and your project will never come to light, and then they own it. You know, how I feel about things like that is you got to own your own. You got to own your own music, man. You know.
You read my
like
mind.
Me,
that
I'm
was
on
the next question I was going to have. Yeah, about how important it is to have your own publishing and to own everything in terms of what you're putting out.
Yeah, like I'm on my Prince. I'm on my Prince shit. You know what I mean? I'm trying to own every portion of it where there's nobody else that's entitled to. Because at the end of the day, it's your music. You know, you created. You know, that's you. That's your body of work. So if you don't control that, you know, other people will profit off of you more than you will.
You know, we can only, and we speak on this because of the situation that it's already well known. It's in the news and everything, most notably with Lil Wayne and Birdman, you know, in terms of the situation, you know, basically trying to get what was owed to him. And I believe property of his music as well, if I'm not mistaken. How important is it for artists to read their contracts to know exactly, you know, what their stake is in terms of their publishing and their royalties in reference to the deals that they sign? Because as we said, you know, as you know, we were talking about earlier, so many artists are just eager to get on, but don't understand.
Yeah, they
the
jump out the
business
window.
Yeah,
they jump out the window.
Mm-hmm.
They sign in the deal. Oh, we on. Yeah, we on. Run out. You know, run out the building. Got their little paper. You know, but you know, somebody just put a leash on them. You know, so you always want. You're never gonna get 100% if you deal with a label, but you know, there's pros and cons to having a label. Like you were saying with the Core Mega, you know, they could press the album, but you got to do the footwork. So we're having a big label behind you. They doing everything, and you just got to show up, you know. But at the same time, it's best to understand the business, man, because you know you want to know about the percentages. You want to know what you're supposed to make on the back end, or if it's coming. You know, or if it's up front with you, you know, but you always want to know. You want to know. You want to own your own publishing. And the reason why most people, when they sign, they don't have their own publishing. They don't know nothing about it. They don't know anything about it. All they know is that they could rap. You know, all they know is that they can make music. That's all they know. They have no idea of anything else about it. And it took me a while to understand everything about it. And just like the streaming world, it took me a while to understand that. And you know, it's just good to read books, man. It's just good to read books, music biz. Like one good book is Music Biz 101. You know, you could probably find that in the library. You could find that.
Definitely. This is Off the Cuff Radio.
You know.
This is Off the Cuff Radio with King Eric and myself, T-Max, with the facts. Call number is 1624-0703, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing and shout out to our co-host and Spirit. Yes. With our shout out to our co-host and Lady Chinchilla. We are here with the Bronx Bomber, the BX with the Flex, the Rhyme Slayer himself, Comet. Yes, and we're chopping it up.
Thank you.
Comet. I wanted to go back because in terms of what we were just speaking on about the music industry, because another story about Cormega, and once again, this is only because this is documented. You know, because we always want to, anything we talk about on the show, it's already been vetted. It's pretty much, it's factual. It's been printed. Everybody knows. Because the situation, of course, we know about what happened with Cormega and the firm, you know, in terms of how that situation unfortunately unfolded. And, you know, of course, the album, The Testament, that he recorded for Def Jam, which, you know, they were trying to charge him, and he spoke about this in XXL Magazine, I believe, about 2001, if I have my publication correct. But he had spoke about how much Def Jam was trying to charge him at the time, because this was in 1997 when the album came out. Well, when it was supposed to be released, but when he was dropped from the label, he couldn't take the album with him, and he said they wanted like $250,000, $300,000 for the record, and he's like, but if you ask any lawyer, the music depreciates because of the year, regardless of how dope it is. And ultimately, he was able to get the masters for Testament, which was ultimately released in 2004, albeit not the whole original, because I have the original. But with that,
yeah,
go ahead.
I can't. I don't really know too much about what went down like that. But at the end of the day, you know, was there an advance given? So, you know, you got to think about that. You know, if there was an advance given, then that's what they might trying to say. If you want your album back, you got to give us back the advance we gave you. So, you know. Right. But I don't really know facts about that situation. So, you know, shout out Cormega. You know, I'd rather him answer that for you.
Look, we would love to have him on the show to, you know what I'm saying, to chop it up with him about that. You know, but I was just using that as an anecdote about how the business works in terms of when, you know, how ownership of your property, because what we've seen in recent years, and of course, shout out to Uncle E40 out in the Bay, shout out to Vallejo, shout out to the West Coast, to our audience out there. E40, you know, of course, I mean, Master P, you know, these are artists that pretty much, you know, and I mean, you could even say, you know, Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin with Def Jam. They pretty much took it to their own hands to independently produce their own product and maintain control of it. You know, I think I still always look at
because
E40. Go ahead.
When you look at those, you know, those are guys that went to labels with a label. You know, like it wasn't like Master P went to Universal and said, "Look, I got Silk the Shocker." Nah, he went over there and said, "Look, I got Master P, Silk the Shocker, and I got a whole army of artists and they already had their you know, their area of where they were from. So everybody in New Orleans and Louisiana was listening to No Limit, you know, already. So for them to go and say, look, you know, I'm selling this out the trunk already, and look at all these artists I got. It's easy for a label to say here. But when you go into a label and you standing in front of them by yourself as an artist, you know, it's a little different because now you just won money, where the label is a whole lot of money, you know. So you're Sick With It Records and him dropping all the music that he was dropping, and even Puff Daddy getting the Bad Boy brand and him pushing it. You know what I mean? It's or like you said, Baby and Cash Money. You know, so with Baby and Cash Money, you know, okay, we Cash Money. I'm giving you the Hot Boys. I'm giving you the you know, the him and Manny Fresh group. Then I'm giving you Lil Wayne by himself. I'm giving you BG by himself. I'm giving you all these artists by himself. Juvenile by himself. I'm giving it to you as a group, Hot Boys. I'm giving it to you as this. So there's a lot of value in that. That's why those kind of deals go down, because there's a lot of value. You know, it's different when it's a solo artist. Yeah, it does play a role. Just like Wu-Tang, you know. When before Wu-Tang was even out, you know, you had the RZA and you had the Jizza, Prince Rakeem, and, you know, Jizza the Genius. You know, they already had records, but they weren't as big as they was until they dropped the Wu-Tang brand. Because now you got the RZA, the Jizza, the Method Man, the Ghostface Killer, the Raekwon, the U-Guard, the Capadonna, you know. That's a Old Dirty Bastard. That's a melting pot right there. You're going to get what they asked for.
Too, and to educate the listeners as well, I would also suggest that if you haven't seen the documentary they put out, Mics and Men, and you ain't got shit to do that day, take your ass to your sofa, get you some popcorn and some Henny, and watch that, because there's a lot of good knowledge and game on that one.
Yeah. I mean, the Wu-Tang been dropping knowledge since the show documentary, you know. And even then, you know, within the clan, they had their own situation where the label wasn't doing something for certain artists, and they had their fallout with the head of the label, you know. So at the end of the day, it's always good to, you know, to watch out, read, learn the business, because that's what it is. It's a business, you know.
Definitely.
You know, it's at the end of the day, it's business. So everything that results is about how you handle your business. So, you know, you can either go in there and fight for what's yours, or you could drop it and just work it, and it's yours, you know. The choice is yours. I chose to press my own music and push my own music because, you know, like I said, why wait? You know, like I had someone interested in Cataclysm, but they wanted to wait a whole year to drop it, you know, and I felt like the content wouldn't be the same. The energy wouldn't be the same. So
right.
We went and dropped it on our own, and we was able to keep up with the energy. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like here we are 6 months later, and y'all letting me know that I got one of the illest albums of 2019. You know.
Definitely. Now, Comet, I want to ask you this question too, because something that I think a lot of young brothers and sisters really need to hear in terms of, you know, trying to be an artist and really understanding the business aspect, because we've talked about the business aspect, but I guess we take it back to the most fundamental, inquisitive about being popular in your area. because a lot of young artists come along and they want to try to trumpet. I wanted to ask that because of what you said earlier about when you're coming to a label, and you have to let them know that you already have a market for your product. What's the best way that we can explain to the youngins, some of the new artists coming up out there, that it's not necessarily hating and niggas don't like your shit. It may just be that you're whack, and that it's you got to have your hood first before you're really able to make any major moves. You being in the game, you've seen a lot of artists come and go. How many situations do you find that a lot of artists are sabotaged by their own ego, not understanding that maybe they're not ready for prime time, with the shining, flashing lights?
Well, what was good for me is that I was able to, I used to perform all the time, but once I was able to be around, the legends and see how they do, I've been on stage with Omega watching, him and Black Poet ripping the stage. I've been on stage with Sadat X ripping the stage, and seeing how they do it, and
right,
and just learning, being around, soaking it all in before I'm grabbing the mic and touching stages, So, it's all about your energy, man. It's all about the energy and what you put into your music. There's going to be people that like your music, and there's going to be people that don't like your music. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to like your music, but you just got to network, man. You just got to be out there, whether taking pictures or, going live, trying to generate more followers, more people in your area. But at the same time, sometimes a lot of people in your area be the ones that they just mad that it's you, But you got to still keep doing what you do and what you love, and always take constructive criticism. If somebody tell you, yo, work on this, work on that, because they seen something, Don't think he don't know what he's talking about. I'm the shit. I'm this. I'm that. The best thing you could do is listen, man. You always gotta listen to the older gods, man. The older gods is always giving you wisdom. If you don't want to accept that wisdom, then you're gonna get the results that you're getting.
Definitely. We talk on the show all the time about how a lot of artists come in, and of course, shout out to Big Swift, from Rap-A-Lot, and of course, OG Spook, who gave us game about it as well. Especially Spook, because his thing was, in terms of, because we, and it happens everywhere. You have the showcases, and Spook was adamant, when he talked about how when he does his showcases down in Texas, he's always going to have something for the artists that win, in terms of a photo shoot or studio time or whatever. And then he's always
they do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they do that up here. Shout out DJ Absolute. He be having his his little, it'd be a contest. First place could win a sit down with a label. It's just the opportunities, but you have to go look for those opportunities, and they out there. But if you just gotta go get it. And like I said, man, take constructive criticism and just keep working, man. Because as the more you work, the better you're going to get, and the people going to hear it. You're going to be more comfortable. You're going to be on stage more comfortable. And, that's when you're feeling it,
Right.
I think people underestimate humility. Humility will get you in the door further than music is anything.
Yeah, you definitely got to be humble, just be happy, everything's an experience, everything's learning, but you can't think you better than nobody, man. You can't think that you hot shit, because hot shit be having flies around you,
Yeah, man.
But
and I think, but definitely said, we've seen a lot of artists from all over who really, because they seen, a lot of artists tend to want to carry that attitude of that they're all that, that they were like, they want to try to have the persona of the I Made It rapper, but they haven't made it out their block, let alone touch a stage and really, burn it down like that, and people got to understand. I always remember what Cafe said, in an interview of Brooklyn. He said, just because you get a deal, and you sign doesn't mean your life has changed. It just means you have an opportunity. And I guess that just means the same in terms of when you're starting out, because you really have if you really have an opportunity to do some great things in the game, you got, like you said, be humble about it. Like you and King said, be humble and just work, and don't try to get a big head, especially when you haven't, you haven't accumulated the accolades to even, say that you're an accomplished artist.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you don't have a hit record out the gate and you just got a label deal and you're on a label, you actually just got a job. You know what I'm saying? So
say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah. It's basically just like having a job. So you got to go to work. You got to put your work in. And you got to build that craft of yours, and until you could get that hit record and it could climb you up the charts, But at the same time, you also got to learn the business before you could think. So practice your craft, study the business, and before you know it, not saying wait until you get prepared, because you'll be waiting forever. You know what I'm saying? So you got to trial and error. You got to do everything as you go, And some people might be there to guide you. Some people might guide you the wrong way, But you just got to watch out for what's out there. Just, keep a positive mindset, be humble, and just keep pushing, man. Keep pushing. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the fans. You want to reach the fans. The more fans you have, the more supporters you have, And if I got 1 million fans and I'm stepping to a label, they're going to give it to me hands down. They're going to give me whatever I want because I got 1 million following me. Look at Tech Nine, Tech Nine, a millionaire or independent,
Shout out to Strange Music. Because I read his and the city, has been, just outright phenomenal because around about 25 years, and they have just been able to just work the game in terms of, and I tell anybody, when you're looking at their operation, Double XL did a story on them some years ago, and they basically took a tour of the warehouse, and I think it's like a 72,000, 100,000, some ridiculous number, but they're all self-contained. That's where they do their merchandise, their recording, their pressing up, everything. And
they invest in it's investing in yourself, just like Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. He invested in himself. He had his own Marathon clothing brand. He had his own whole little strip mall of a whole bunch of things going on that gave people opportunities to do other things other than music. But,
definitely.
For the music,
definitely,
you gotta invest. Like you gotta invest in yourself. So the more you invest in yourself, the more you can do for yourself. So why not book these tours? It's when you have the right amount of paper, it's easy to get on tours because you could work something out, and now you headlining this show, you headlining that show, and now you're building your brand even more. But best believe that at some point in time, Tech Nine was running around in a small little car with just him and his homeboys, going from show to show, trying to build their brand like everyone else in the game that's coming in, but they just stuck with it. And some people, they they don't stick with it, you know. But
I think it's also a case of where you guys, it's also a case of where when you have the hardcore sound, it's never going to die. It just, reinvented to a new generation, a new era. And going back to even listen to your project, it sounds fresh, like sonically fresh. It don't sound like something that was from the 80s or the 90s or something dated from that era. It still sounds fresh today.
Yeah, that's the reason why, because the whole sound is different. What people are used to listening to, the slow beat, the fast beat, the 808 drum, this beat, this kick snare. Where here I'm going back to the elements and giving you the real, you know?
Definitely. And I think definitely what you were saying, and I didn't want to be remiss in terms of not, in terms of strange music, because of course it was two, Tech Nine, of course, Travis O'Geen, those are the main two that, really founded it and really, got it going. But definitely it takes time.
Yeah,
to
you
find
gotta
the
have
audience.
it.
But when you have it, because with Nipsey, and we always talk about Nipsey on the show, we got so much love for him, rest in peace. Nipsey had his hood, where he was able to branch out, like he said on Ocean Views, I had a plan and I followed through, but he took the time to study his craft, get good at it, and then he was able to diversify his portfolio. The money he made from the music, he put into other ventures, hence the Marathon Clothing. And, he just kept getting better with it. And, I think a lot of artists, too, have to understand, Comet, that, when music may be the main meal, but you got to have other entrees on the plate to eat off of as well, in terms of making...
Of course. Especially, you always want, if there's people that do music and don't have no other ventures, but if you're going to be making music, you always got to know that you're not going to be want to make rapping all your life. There's going to be a time where you might want to not rap, but you got to have something else going on, That's why it's good to have, like Nas and all his deals with all the tech companies and his investments.
Man.
Look,
man. You want to talk
look
about
where he's
somebody
at today,
Yeah, you want to talk about somebody that made a come up in terms of, studying that business tech wave and finding out what was coming next. And I mean, some of those deals I read about with Nas were just unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, of course,
it's always right.
Of course, go ahead, yeah.
It's always right place, right time. Somebody putting a bug in your ear, and you just going ahead with the investment, Same with Jay-Z and his investments, When it's presented to them, they jump on it, and here we are a couple years later, they billionaires off it. And it's about just making smart business moves and like I said, studying the business, man, and just having a business mind state. If you're out there like a clown, you're going to get clowned. If you're out there handling business, you'll be successful.
That's because they look at their art as value. Just like you could tell, you have a true artist when they could tour 20 years later off an old catalog that they made from the 90s or the 80s. That's when they treat their craft as true art. And it has value. It has value within time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I want people bumping Cataclysm in 20 years, like they bumping Illmatic now. Word.
It's interesting because I'll tell you a couple of years ago, and making classic the test of time. He said, you want to make music in your 20s, and this really resonated with me. He said you want to make music in your 20s that you can look at in your 30s and not be ashamed of it, because you want to make sure that it stands the test of time in terms of what you're doing, for what you're putting out there.
Mhm.
And I
I
think that
you don't want to. Go ahead.
I think his phone breaking up a little bit. I think your phone breaking up, T-Max.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yo. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but he wanted it, and I think that's something that is very important, because we look at a lot of artists who were like doing it 10 years, 15 years ago, and then they try to come back, all acting like they, like everybody disrespected them because they forgot. And it's like, no, we didn't forget you. It's just you didn't do anything to make us remember why you were great in the first place, or why you were popular. And popular and great are not synonymous, But I think it's all about making. Go ahead.
You gotta be. One thing about hip hop is you gotta be consistent. You gotta keep dropping. Like even though they still touring off their old music, they still making new music to make the people listening to the old music still, So if you ain't never heard of Nas and you listen to Nas's album and you like it, you're gonna end up looking for his whole catalog. So now you just boosted the whole catalog, But the key is to stay consistent. Like you got like Black Poet, man. Like I tell you, man, Black Poet came, dropped in '86 with Beat You Down, and here we are, 2019, and he got a new album coming. Titled Simon Phoenix. So, and he still goes on tour for his work with Primo. You know what I'm saying? So,
man,
he's still dropping new music, and it just sparks the older music at the same time.
And what's crazy about it is that we see a lot of these artists. It's about the music standing the test of time. We've seen artists who everybody thought was going to be next. And but when you listen to their music now, even if it's from 5 years ago, it sounds so dated. It's like you said, it's about consistency, but I think it's also about where a lot of artists some of these newer artists try to do things that are trendy, and then it doesn't work. It just falls flat at the end, because the music sounds like a relic of its time, but not a true representation of what that time was for some of the great stuff that came out of it. It's called staying power with the record. When you listen to, and I'm gonna hit our audience with some old school joints that that are like only the hardcore heads are gonna remember. Like when you listen to Tragedies Against All Odds, when you listen to MF Doom's Operation Doomsday, when you listen to when you listen to Lakey's The 41st Side, when you listen to Threat, Sick in the Head, when you listen to Cam's Never Again, these are albums that stand the test of time because they actually are what that era of hip hop sounded like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely.
Of course, another Bronx native, Diamond D, Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop. Definitely. That album is just cool.
Yeah, even Lord Finesse, the Funky Technician.
Him and Mahmood. And
Main Source with Large Pro,
Breaking Adam. Yeah.
Yeah. Dope. There's countless albums out there, the Diabolical, Biz Markie, the whole Juice Crew album, these are classic albums. Mobb Deep, you know, Hell on Earth, you know, the infamous, you know, classic. You can listen to it now and it still sound fresh. Fat Joe, you know.
Yep.
Big Pun. Fresh.
Yeah, and but it's something that when you hear certain elements in terms of the music, because of course,
even the
we
Roots
talk
album,
about
the Roots.
Oh yeah,
the Roots album.
And, you know,
the Roots album.
And you know, it's funny because their debut was Organics in 1993, and Do You Want More came out in 1994, and for a while that was the album that and Black Thought said, you know, we're so much more than that. He's like, I'm happy that we did what we did and it's popular, but it was about the song Silent Treatment, because everybody wanted them to do Silent Treatment all the time, and they're like, we love it because it's a song we did and it's good, but there is more to us. And of course, you know, when they dropped, you know, Illadelph Half-Life 26, that just totally blew the door off for them. Still one of the greatest albums of the mid-'90s, late '90s ever. You know, Concerto of the Desperado, What They Do, Clone, and look at the Roots now over 20 years later, and they're the house band for Jimmy Fallon. How good is life for them right now?
That's crazy how things turn out like 20 years down the line, because you wouldn't think in 1999 you would see a lot of people making those certain transitions that you see today.
Yeah, no, you didn't expect it, but, you know, Black Thought is still in my top 10 illest MCs.
And dropped a banging ass.
And he might be in my top. He might be top 5. You know, I mean, he actually is top 5. Why would I say might be? He is top 5. Definitely one of the illest lyricists out there.
It took everybody time to catch up with that.
Yo, I was reading some of your bio, and I caught a reminder. Now, we was playing some of the classic Showbiz and AG background music and everything, and one name in particular popped up was Party Arty. You got to let people know how ill this dude was. Rest in peace.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. Like, wow. Oof. Man, P80, man. Party Arty. Get Dirty. Shout out D Fleazy, D Flow. Straight out the Ma Haven section of the BX. Party was just great, man. He was one of the illest. He was one of the illest, man. I was able to witness his whole energy, and I wish I'd been around him more, you know. I was around him for a small time, only for a few recordings. But in that little bit of time, man, he was great. He was humble. He always showed me love, man. Party Arty. Get Dirty.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude was so
now,
man. Like,
you know,
anybody that's talking about this. Go ahead.
Yeah, Party Arty was the first artist to give me an opportunity to rock, you know. Like, I did a song, it was called The Swamps, and it was me, Party, voice box, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy. And then we recorded another song, Live from the X, and then I remixed that song, and I put Black Poet on the record, and it was me, Poet, and Party. You know, because the similarities between Party and Poet was crazy. You understand? Like Poet was the Party Arty of Queensbridge. Party Arty was, you know, was the man in my Haven. Much respect to Party and the whole Get Dirty show and AG.
Man, shout out. Cool.
And yeah. And I was gonna mention too that his verse off the Graveyard, one of the hypest verses I ever heard in my life. Like that energy that dude brought up there, like we was just off the meat rack.
You know what's crazy too is that there's a record out there. The record was originally Jay-Z, Big L, AG, Party Arty, and then when it finally came out, I believe on the Big Picture, Big L's album, Party Arty's verse wasn't on it, but the original song, Party Arty's verse is on it. You know? Word. Shout out P80, man.
Now, what was the deal with Party's verse not being up there? Was it some industry issues in terms of contractual obligations or just some other things?
Oh, I don't even know. I just remember it not being on there, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just remember it not being on the Big Picture.
Right.
But it was originally there was an original record that came out earlier, and it had Party on it.
Mm.
And they should have just left Party on it.
Man, I tell you.
You there, T-Max?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now when you look at guys like Big L and Party, rest in peace, how big do you feel their contributions were to the culture, and what do you think hip hop would be like today if they were still with us?
Oh man, I think hip hop would have took longer to transition to where it's at, because you would have had them dropping continuously, like, you know, giving you more to listen to. You know, like there was a time where people ain't have nobody to listen to no more, so everybody started drawing to the other artists. You know, like 50 Cent. You know, everybody started drawing to 50 Cent because he was high. He was talking what everybody was wanting to talk about or wanting to say. And then before you know it, it was like it just got flat. So I think if a lot of the artists were still around, like your Biggies, your Tupacs, you know, your E-Money Bags, you know, all the great artists that are gone, if they were around, I think the culture would have. I think it would have took a little longer to change.
Definitely. Where do you see hip hop
every
going?
Year, huh?
Yeah. Where do you see hip hop going? Yeah, where do you see it going right now in terms of where you see the resurgence of a lot of artists? Of course, you know, we had Cocaine drop his album Finger Roll this year with West Coast Stone. It's a certified classic. Definitely the true representation of West Coast. Of course, Eric Sermon just dropped his new album this year as well. I mean, you're seeing the hip hop is the hip hop is still there. Where do you see it going right now in terms of what we're with a lot of artists still releasing great product?
I mean, I think it's transitioning pretty good. You know, back towards the realness. You know, I also see it, you know, evolving, which is it's gonna evolve. You know, even though people gonna still be making the core hip hop, there's still gonna be people making what they gonna make. You know, so it's just gonna get bigger. Like I said, you got the country rap, the little Nas X, then you got a whole bunch of other people trying to do what he do. And I just want to see where it goes, man. Just have fun, man. Gotta have fun with it. If you ain't having fun, you're just gonna be miserable. And you know, I'm just having fun.
Definitely. Now, in terms of yourself, what other producers would you love to work with as your career continues to flourish and stay fresh?
Definitely Evidence. You know, DJ Muggs, Alchemist. You know, stay getting Black Poet beats. You know, Black Poet is a monster behind the board. Pete Rock, Just Blaze, A-Rap Music.
Oh, man.
Marco Polo.
For those who haven't heard A-Rap Music, oh my God, that boy's nice.
Yeah, he's a monster. Yeah, he's a monster on you know, just keep digging. Large Pro, would love to work with Large Pro. Would love to work with Eric Sermon. Diamond D, of course, you know, being out from the BX, I would love to work with Diamond D. There's you know, Dr. Dre. You know, if I could ever rock with Dre, I would go bananas on a Dre beat.
Yeah,
Heat
Dre.
Makers, you know, you got the Heat Makers. You know, I love to work with the Heat Makers.
Shout out to Arsonist and the crew, man. I mean, man, that stuff they did for Diplomat still goes hard.
Heat Makers did they thing
with
Jim Jones'
Havoc.
album.
Yeah, definitely Havoc too. Havoc, you know, I definitely want to work with Havoc. Yeah, definitely that Jim Jones new album is fire right now. Static Selector. There's a lot of producers out there I would love to work with, man.
He broke that boom. He brings that boom bap sound to the table, and at the same time, it sounds so crisp. People sleep on him.
Yeah, they do. You know, I would like to work with Terminology on his production side. You know, I already did. I did a song with him. I would love to work with him all around again. But definitely I would like to, you know, mess with his beats. There's Derringer, too. You know, Griselda, he makes some fire, too. Yeah, that would be a good accomplishment, them people I just mentioned. You know, I worked with Marco Polo before. He was on Man Screws. Definitely your Pete Rocks, your Vinny Idol, you know, Vinny Idol or the Locks. You know, he makes beats for the Locks. But yeah, you know, just the realness, man.
I'll throw up Madlib. Madlib will sound dope with you.
Yeah, Madlib is dope too. I like Madlib. And of course, you know, you got your overseas producers, you know, like Kyo Itachi, you know. I jumped on one of his records, but I would love to do more with him. You know, the Snow Goons, shout out to Snow Goons. Yeah, anyone that's keeping that sound, man, I want to work with them, man. Anybody that's keeping that sound, that's giving you the realness, man. It's all about giving you the realness with me. Word.
That's what's up, man. You there, T-Max?
I'm here. I'm just listening, man. I'm just vibing. I'm just taking in all the. With some of the names he gave, especially Marco Polo. I mean, shout out to Marco Polo with his Port Authority album, and of course the work he's done with Master Ace. You know,
Yeah.
the Brooklyn album. I mean, that boy.
Yeah, that's a dope
Man.
album.
Yes. But definitely you got. I mean, but your pedigree. But your pedigree for what you have, Comet, is just phenomenal. I mean, you know, for who you've been able to link up with and the stuff you've done and the dopeness that you still have yet to deliver for the masses, you know what I'm saying? You know, for what, I mean, ultimately, you know, in the pantheon of all-time greats, you know, how do you see yourself making your mark in history, you know, in the culture?
Wow. I just hope that I'm making the people happy, man. You know, I'm just hope that that I'm staying on track with what it's supposed to be. You know, as long as I keep giving them that hip hop, that's straight from the heart, that's straight from the soul hip hop. You know, that everyday struggle hip hop. You know, helping people get out of their situations or helping them get through some hardship through something you mentioned on record that might have helped somebody change their life. You know.
That's what's up.
You know, hopefully I could be mentioned with a lot of the greats. You know, but I'm gonna keep working until then, you know. I'm gonna keep dropping. I still got projects coming, so, you know, just gotta keep my foot on their neck and keep giving them what they want to hear, you know.
And do you have any videos planned to re-release for the summertime?
We just dropped a new video. Last Monday we just dropped a new video titled "The Light" off my new album Cataclysmic, produced by Supreme the Almighty. I mean, y'all could go check me out, man. YouTube.com/CometMadman. You know, this is my 7th video from the album. You know.
So you
definitely.
try to aim for the goal of shooting a video for every track?
You know, my original idea was to at least have 10 videos for the album. Because like I said, you know, the way people release the album is like they'll do 2 videos for the album, then the album is forgotten. You know what I'm saying? So people like all these records. You know, people love the songs. They want to visualize the visuals. So, you know, I dropped The Light. We got like 2 more videos that we need to film. And then we're going to wrap it up with that and move on to the next album, you know. But we definitely working over here, man. We definitely working.
Now, what was it like on that first video shoot that you ever did? In terms of like when you you really was like when you knew like, okay, I'm really about to put something out here for the masses to see. What was that like?
Man, you know, you always want to give the people a visual. You know, bring them into your world. Give them which how you perceive. Even though people listen to music and they might think of other things while they listening to it, but I try to give people a visual. Try to bring them into my world, you know. But it's just having fun, man. It's just having fun, man. Cameras on, lights are on. Just have fun, man. That's all I can say.
Now, how do you see media influencing the market right now in terms of how music is broadcast and distributed?
It has its, distribution for music it has its ups and downs. I mean, you got your TuneCore, you got your CD Babies, you got all these companies out there to help distribute music as far as streaming. But like I said, you know, if you don't really have a big demographic listening to you on the streaming world, you know, it's going to be hard for you to generate any revenue through the streaming world, you know. So that's why it's always good to press up physical copies, because you might recoup a little more through the physicals than you do through the streams. But the streams is good because, you know, people can listen to it whenever, and it's always there. You know, it's just, yeah, man, it's just you gotta watch. It's easier distribution, but you're not making what you gonna make. So I got my ifs about that, you know. Because as far as streaming, you know, you're making points, you're making pennies to a point, or points to a penny when you're streaming. And if you could distribute your physical copies, then you're making more than points to a penny, you know. So let's just say, for instance, Pharrell Williams, his song Happy was streamed over 1 million times. And his stream payout was maybe $1,200. If he would have sold 1 million copies, of the single, he probably would have went diamond, you know? That's like 10 million copies sold. But since streaming is points to a penny, you know, you need 20 points to make a penny.
Oh, man.
Just do the math. Yeah, do the math, you know.
Yeah, the streaming game, 'cause we talked about it on many shows, how really tripe it is. It's like you could sell 5 to 6 million, but you getting cents to $1.
Yeah, like you say, if you streamed 5 million, your check is probably about $8,000. You know, that don't even
plum hustle right there.
But this is why most people, they'll put their album out in streams, and then they go tour. They're touring. They got merchandise. That's where the income comes really, and then the peanuts come in later, you know? Even for someone like...
It has some type of advantage, though. I mean, it has advantages of if people want to see their music be heard more.
What's good about it is that, you know, you putting it out there, but if you're not even trending or you're not even hitting the right analytics, it's not gonna do nothing. Wow. You know? You really gotta work it. You really gotta work on the streaming. You gotta work it. You can't just expect, people are gonna listen, because they not. People only listen to when other people... Yeah, people only listen to when someone else says, yo, check this out. They're not searching on their own. A lot of people don't search on their own. Unless you love hip-hop, then you out there, you know. I don't got 100 CDs in my car. I got Spotify in my phone, you know. So I could listen to a whole bunch of different artists and be cool with it. When back in the day, you had to have a whole book of CDs to just drive around. You know, you had a whole book of CDs back in the day. Nowadays, you got endless albums on your phone, which is good. You know, you could take your albums with you wherever.
Yeah, it saves a lot of pressing. It used to be a bitch to press up 3,000 or 4,000 CDs, and you selling only 200.
That's the heartbreak of the hustle right there.
Well, you know, when you pressing up that many and you only selling that many, the only person to blame is whoever pressed it up. You know, because it's a hustle, it's a work. You gotta work it. If you're not working it, it's not gonna move. You know, you gotta be out there. You gotta be out there. You know, I'm on Instagram heavy. I'm on Facebook heavy. I'm on Twitter heavy. You know, and those are just three outlets. But then I got the in your face. Come to your house, drop it off to you. You know what I mean? Like, the album is there. You know, you can go on Bandcamp, comet5000.bandcamp.com and order the album. Like, I'm just always pushing the album. Like, put it like this. I sold Mad Screws. When I dropped Mad Screws, we sold out Mad Screws fast. But we had to press more. The second pressing, it died down a little bit. Then I pressed up Cataclysm. As soon as I dropped Cataclysm, Mad Screws sparked again. Sold out of Mad Screws. Sold out of Cataclysm. Pressed up vinyl for Cataclysm. Like, you got to work it. If you're not working it, you get what your results are, you know? And then you get left with a shelf full of stuff that ain't moving.
That's true.
It's also a case of where you never know when a record's gonna pick up. That's the funny thing about the online game now is it could be a record that you probably dropped like 6 months ago, and then all of a sudden, if you're speaking on a relevant incident, like let's say you talking about something that somebody did, and that situation is trending again, then the radar hits to your record that you already spoke on it before, and the next thing you know, the record's taking off.
Yeah, definitely. You always got to give it time. You got to let the music You got to let the music circulate, you know? You got to let it circulate. Just because you drop it today don't mean that it's going to reach everybody. You know, you got to give it some time. Like you said, you know, here we are 6 months later, and you hollering at me to be on the show, you know? That just lets the music time to circulate, and boom, here we are.
Yeah, it was definitely in the plan, because I was like, man, I got to find a way to get this guy. Man, this record is incredible, man. Like, one thing that Dr. Dre said, he said that you know a record is hot when you hear the first 10 seconds of it. When I first heard 10 seconds of what you were saying, I was like, yo, I got to get this guy. ASAP.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Word. I just try to give people the raw, man. That real raw, like, I can't give nobody anything else.
But you know what, brother, as we about to wrap this interview up, man, because, you know, we got probably about 4 or 5 minutes to spare. Now, do you care? You don't have to, but do you care to, like, spit us a verse or something that, you know, to give the audience something to expect from the album or your future projects or what you bring to the table?
Oh, man. Yeah, I got something for you.
Yeah.
I got something for you. Y'all ready?
Yeah, we ready.
I said my flow. Check it. I said my flow is avion, fly with my avion, banging with Buddy Benetton, blowing on his Metasong, Ralphie Low Renaissance. You dealing with the upper echelon, Megatron with the weapon drawn, low from dusk to dawn, smooth with my Wallies on. Dry goods, keep a hot text, crispy knits, common lip shit, extended clip shit, whip it like Bisquick. I'm here to rip shit, keep my cookies crisp, fly grimy New York shit, keep the torch lit, rugby patch. I say rugby with the patch on it, the land of the lost, silk crescent, orange equestrian, Machiavellian, Iron Mike dueling, Bill with the real stand undisputed, Mr. Rugby, I'm tuned in, DJ Mike Knights hit you with that old smooth shit.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, good looking,
Album
good
in
looking.
stores now, all platforms. Let them
All
know where they
platforms.
can find you at, bro.
Check it out. If you're streaming, I'm on all streaming platforms from Pandora to Apple Music to Spotify. You know, if you into collecting and you like the raw physical copy, you can check me out on Bandcamp. That's Comet5000.bandcamp.com, and we ship worldwide, man. Word. Go get that. Comet
you know
Cataclysm.
What? We got it. Ooh, wait, that joint was fire, man. I'm gonna have to drop the Funk Master Flex bomb on that one.
Yeah. It's coming. Got a lot of stuff coming, man, for the world, man. Got the new album with Black Poet coming, titled Smoke, produced by Men Entertainment's own Astro Vandalist. You know, got my second coming real soon. Got Simon Phoenix coming from Black Poet. You know, we working over here, man. Shout out the whole Infamous Mob. Yeah.
We have to do it for in time, baby. Drop that bomb.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't know what time it is, baby. Off the Cup Radio, up in here with the Comet on Screwball click. Drop that bomb.
Man.
Relax with the facts. We in the building, boy. But yeah, brother, big salute to you, man. If you have something else you want to promote or just want to come on through, man, just feel free, man. We got the open love and respect for what you're doing. We appreciate you giving us the 2 hours to chop it up. My man T-Max is here.
Coming.
You know, we have a little.
Shout out to T-Max. Shout out to King Eric. You know, the whole Off the Cuff Radio, giving y'all that real raw exclusive shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm your boy, Comet Madman, Screwball representative, Men Entertainment. Love and loyalty, infamous ties. We here, man.
Man, look, Comet, we are so grateful. We're so humble. You know, stay in your own galaxy of genius. You know, with the cataclysm going all across the solar system of super lyrics, man. I mean, stay doing what you do. You know, you're welcome back anytime, and we thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Without y'all, there's no us, man. Without y'all, we ain't here to let the people know what's going on with us, you know. Y'all there to keep the culture moving, you know. Keep banging, man. Keep playing that real hip-hop, man. You know, y'all doing y'all thing over there, man. I appreciate y'all, real.
Definitely. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And this show going to be up on replay by either tomorrow night or Sunday. So I'm going to shoot you in the DM and let you know when we have it.
Yeah, let me know, man. You know, I'll share it, you know, put it out there. You know, it's for the people.
For sure, man. So, on that note, we about to sign up out of here. Big shout out to everybody that tuned in. Look out for the replay. And be sure to cop that album. No bootlegs.
Go get it.
As Onyx would say, bitch ass motherfucker bootleg selling my tape. You get shot. We ain't playing.
Yeah. Word. And fuck all you bitch ass niggas.
Alright.
Word up.
Screwball Fay Band, you know.
Yeah, man.
We out of here.
Yeah, we out. One. Peace.